Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Big Bro C No, your favorite trainer, your favorite individual. I want to give you guys 3 reasons, all right? 3 reasons why working out is essential for mental health. So if you're an individual or you know somebody that's dealing with a mental illness, then this video is definitely for you or for them. You know, if the person is not you, it's okay, no shame, because I deal with mental illness too. All right. So number one, how is working out essential? Now, this is not the first video done about this, but these are just 3 main keys, okay? And me knowing how applying these keys actually helps. So number one, stress threshold. That's number one. What is stress threshold? Basically, okay, your ability to overcome stress, your ability to cope with stress. Stress is always going to be existent. To me, stress is not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just stress. But let's take a look at the gym, for example. When you're working out, you're actually developing your stress threshold. How? Well, when you're picking up heavy weight you haven't picked up before, or you're doing some kind of regimen that you've never done before, you got some asshole trainer like me telling you to pick up that weight and you've never done it in that specific way, well, guess what happens? Your body is sending an alarm reaction to the brain going, oh my God, what is going on? This person here is lifting this weight and I don't know if we're strong enough. Please, we should just stop. What should we do? That's the alarm reaction. The body is going, what is going on? Should we recruit more? Let's recruit more neurons. So this person can pick up that weight. And in that moment, you're literally you're literally in a situation of stress. That is stressful. But it's good stress because it's stress that's leading you to a higher path. What's that higher path? According to the video, mental health. Because you see, when you're in the gym and you consistently put yourself through that stress threshold, well, you're able to still do the work required. And you're able to still keep the tunnel vision. And you're able to walk through that stress, pass through that stress, lift through that stress, which is good stress. Not only do you overcome that in the gym and your body adapts to that so it can be stronger next time you got to pick up the same weight or heavier weight, but the brain also becomes stronger outside of the gym for next time a situation gives you the same alarm reaction, which we call day-to-day stress. Now, here's the good news about the stress in the gym. Here's the good news about the stress in the gym and the stress outside the gym. The stress outside of the gym is usually relatively lighter than the stress in the gym, usually. Because it's only heavy as we put it in our minds. But I'm not going to get that deep. That's as simple as I'm going to keep it. So that's number one, all right? It helps you develop your stress threshold, okay? Which is very important for mental health. Why? Because a lot of mental illness comes from avoiding a lot of stress, avoiding a lot of triggers. If you know anybody with bipolar disorder or even schizophrenia, psychosis, any disorders like that, then you know that individuals that deal with that, or if that is you, you know that there's a constant avoidance of situations or people, places, or even events. Because as soon as that triggering stress comes up, you don't know how to cope or deal with it. Therefore, now your mind goes blah, blah, blah. All right? So that's why number one is important. Because if you put yourself in situations where you have to endure such stress, or stress that's stronger than that, whenever you do get triggered, I'm not saying it's going to treat it, right? A lot of these things are beyond the mind, but it gives you perspective. It gives you another route because you have physically put your body through something else and have mentally have chosen to go, okay, even though this weight is heavy, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to do 10 more sets, even though my body says I can't. And when you do it, imagine what else you could do outside of the gym. So that's number one, all right? Now, number two, serotonin and dopamine release. That's a big one. These are basically feel-good chemicals. These are the chemicals that make you feel great. You feel like a god. You feel like a genius. You're feeling dope. You're feeling on top of the world. That's normally right after a workout or right after accomplishing something that matters, right? Whether you run a business or you got a career or a good job, whenever you're doing something that took some kind of effort and you put the work in, guess what? Dopamine is released. You feel good about yourself. It's like nature or God rewarding you almost. And that is why working out is essential for mental health, because it's the cheat code to getting that small win for yourself. But more than that, here's why. Because when you're actually putting in work and working out, you start getting a little bit more self-respect. You get more self-respect because you're putting yourself through something that your body doesn't always want, right? This is for people who are in that stage, right? And number two, when you do accomplish something that requires effort, you get more self-respect, you get more self-love, you also get more self-confidence, because you're teaching yourself and proving to yourself over and over again, based on the fact that you're actually working out, that you can overcome certain stress and that you can do certain things that are not easy to most people. And your brain is telling you that through these chemicals being released. You understand? Versus the contrary, because most of us dealing with mental illness, and we're all human, so we all get triggered. So here's the one thing. Most of us lack these chemicals. You understand? Most of us lack the capability to even be happy, because we don't know what to be happy about, because we don't have a lot of habits that give us the ability to be happy. Because what are we doing? Like, going back to number one, we're avoiding a lot of stress, avoiding a lot of situations, and we're avoiding a lot of hard work, including going to the gym. That's usually one of them. All right. So, and even if you do have a chemical imbalance, I'm also going to balance this out for a lot of you guys. But even if you or you yourself or the person that you do know has a chemical imbalance, even with a chemical imbalance, I don't care who you are, most chemical imbalances is because of that lack of serotonin, lack of dopamine, lack of feel-good chemicals. They usually have the contrary. That's why they're thinking too much. That's why they're in their heads too much. You understand what I'm saying? So, working out helps release those chemicals. And not only does it help release those chemicals, it also releases tension, right? Working out actually relaxes you. By the time you're done, you have released emotional baggage you didn't even know you had. Mental baggage you didn't even know you had. That's where these chemicals come from. So it's not just God saying, oh yeah, you did 10 push-ups. Here's a feel-good chemical. It's not how it works. Normally, it's working to that point of no return, when you hit the zone. Whether you're doing cardio, lifting weights, jumping rope, walking, by the time you hit that zone where you're really fully in the zone, fully in the present moment, fully engaged in the physical movement, moving your body, letting your mind be with your body. By the time you're done, you have released tension between you and yourself, or whatever thought or whatever habits you've had that kept you in your head. You release that, and then your brain gives you feel-good chemicals. All right, I'm done harping on number two. Now, number three, and last but not least, and I'm leaving you guys alone. Ritual. What is a ritual? Even though it sounds like an occultic or Native American word, a ritual is a routine that is done over and over again. It's almost like worship. Why do you think men in the military or military branches, from the Marine all the way up to the Air Force, why do you think they wake up at the same time and all together jog together? And this is what we call the men and women that protect the assets of this country. These are brave men and women that are trained like this for a reason. So they don't just wake up and go jogging just because they want to be in shape. They wake up and jog together and chant what they have to chant together, no matter what, because there's a healthy component. Excuse my French. There's a healthy component to what that does to their minds. And we're talking about mental health, right? That's one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest ones right there. One of the biggest things for me, I would say for me, because I know what it's like to deal with mental illness, but I would say just adding working out, started 3 years ago, about 4 years ago, when I started training. And just having that as my ritual, as my everyday routine, it started changing the way I thought. It started just changing It just made me calmer. It made me more chill, made me more grounded with reality. See, when you do the same thing over and over again that creates success, you can get nothing but success. You can get nothing but bigger, nothing but more in shape, healthier. So these right here, as simple as they were, these are the three main keys, in my opinion, that help with mental health, okay?